So the word patient comes from a Greek word which means to suffer. And we had a journey a few years ago in making a slogan for the practice, or a mantra, if you want to call it that. And we came up with to advance people-centered healthcare. Now, the initial word that we were using was patient-centered, but in my journey with that word, I came to feel that to name someone a sufferer is to take the illness or the symptoms and focus on that, whereas what we've tried to do in our business, what we try to do in our practice, is to focus on the person, not on the illness, which is not always easy. Don't always get that right, and sometimes it's appropriate to focus on the illness because we're here to cure, to heal, and to comfort. So that has its place, but we want to go beyond just focusing on a person's ailment, and we want to focus on their personhood. And so that's why we changed the word from patient-centered to people-centered. Now, a person is a very complex being, and in that definition of people-centered is an acknowledgement of the complexity of a person's being, of a person's makeup. So we believe that a person is not just a body, is not just a mammal, but we believe that they are body, soul, and spirit. Now, the word soul has become very dear to me because it has helped me to understand the human being much better, understand myself, understand the people that I treat. I almost said patients that I treat. I'm trying to get away from that. So the word soul has become very dear to me, and I'll probably cover that in another log. But just to say that suffering is very real, and I do see a lot of suffering, and that's common to the healthcare profession and my colleagues. I probably don't see as much suffering as a lot of my colleagues do, but the suffering that I do see has sometimes overwhelmed me at times, and so I've had to learn to deal with that, learn to manage my own emotions, not to become to be empathetic, not sympathetic. So not to let the suffering cause suffering in my own soul, but rather to come alongside and comfort. But the compassion that I have, I must say, is clearly a gift from God. Even as a young boy, and a young man, when I did gift surveys, that would always come out pretty much on top. A gift of compassion. So I've got to give credit where credit is due.